Everyone.
Frank, welcome to Portugal.
Thank you. What a great place, eh? I mean, it's like California meets Europe, but with better food.
Yeah.
Just all around. The seafood is fantastic. What a place.
Frank, let me give a short introduction who you are. So I have a short summary. You actually, what I understand, you first registered your first domain in '99, 20 years ago.
Yeah, wow.
So
20 years.
You're pretty late to that party, and also what I learned is like the first domain that you registered was actually misspelled.
Yeah. I got it.
But back in the time, where the right one was still available.
That's right. Right. So that's flashback 20 years, and you could make a mistake and get a really good name and be like, oh damn, I screwed up, and then still get the correct version.
What was that domain?
Accommodation.
Accommodation. Okay, that's
2 C's, 2 M's.
I mean, he's actually born in Germany, yeah. So maybe it was with the English, right? That he didn't know how to spell it correctly. Yeah. Okay. You did a lot of things in the last 20 years. So you sold more than 1 million domains.
I've owned more than 1 million domains.
Yes. Okay. You still have a couple of 100,000 in your portfolio.
Actually, I guess you're right. I have actually sold more than 1 million domains. Because some of those are portfolio sales. It's not the way Andrew Rosner sells a domain name, painstakingly connecting a buyer to a seller. Sometimes I do it that way too. Sometimes we do it though in bulk.
Okay. So you co-founded the ICA, the Internet Commerce Association?
Yes. Yeah. We were sitting around a table. Howard New was sleeping at the table, and it was a long day. And Rick said, "Okay, well, we're going to do this then." Rick Schwartz was there. A different time. Yeah.
Interesting. So you founded Uni Registry in 2011. You run 26 GTLDs right now?
Yes, we do. Actually, 30 we run now.
Wow, okay. And you run the Uni Registry marketplace where you've brokered over 70 million in domains last year, right?
50 which we can announce.
Okay. And actually, you know what? I sold my first domain on Uni Registry marketplace like 3 or 4 weeks ago.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
Oh, right. Okay.
And actually, I have a bottle of champagne. I just forgot it where.
Well,
let's drink it. I mean,
let's open it up. Let's do it.
So, hand it all. Here we go.
Free champagne. That's amazing.
Oh, can you open it for us as well?
Maybe I should charge you.
So, okay, let's do the math on that bottle of champagne. I sold idanadi.com, which is a very special style of yoga, for $100, hand registered,
Oh, wow.
1 time renewed.
Okay.
$10 went to you.
Okay, well,
Yeah. $20 I paid for that. The remaining is the bottle.
Oh wow. Okay, well, not all transactions are like that, or I'd be in a lot of trouble. But no, I'm glad that you got that. So there are a lot of changes coming to that market. It's hard building a market that's kind of open and it's bounding with other distribution methods, different registrars for distribution, different websites where the name can be broadcast when it's searched as available for sale. It's hard doing that side of it, and then it's hard building an interface that I can be really proud of. We have set a lot of really big changes coming this summer to the market to try to make it a little easier to use, a little easier to list, and a little more out of magic, because we've been watching how our users interact. And those who love the registry market really love it. Like, I mean, we deal with probably 100 professionals, who are selling millions of dollars in names, couldn't live without the market, of which I am one. I couldn't live without the tools because if you think about name selling, it's all about the style of selling. I was listening to the broker presentation at the back of the room, and first of all, time to
Cheers.
Cheers. And to you all.
Yeah. You have lunch in 15 minutes, so you can start right now.
Bad luck, not good. All right. So if you think, there are sellers who are selling, boutique style, very slow, $1 million sales. There are sellers who sell in bulk. How much for this bundle of portfolios? How much for that bundle? How much for this bundle of names? How much for that bundle of names? That portfolio. And then there's boutique selling in volume, where you get what we do at at Uniregistry in my portfolio, which is where we're selling, lots of 10s and 20s. This name's $6,000, that name's $7,000, that name's 14, that one's 15, and all up. And over the course of a month, you sell about, well, I can do it annually. Over the course of a year, in name administration, we'll do about 15 million, a year pretty consistently, actually. So if you look at last year, the year before, and the year before that, we actually probably have one of the longest track records of very consistent sales from a single portfolio over 20 years, and that it tells a story. It's a very, very consistent rip. Every year you're selling 12 to 15 million across the team. And there's lots of 10s and 20s and 30s, and there's not as many $1 million sales that get everybody all excited. And wow, I can retire now. I've got 30 million for that one name. Those, I always say, I was telling the joke last night. You know how you sell a name for $30 million? You have to be able to say no to 29. You have to be able to say, I've got 29 million. Will you take it? No. That's hard to do. And buyers are savvy. They don't want to overpay. They're not going to offer 20 and then go to 30. It doesn't work that way. Somebody has to say no to like 25, 26. Big numbers to say no to.
Yeah. But what I actually really like is, and something which we want to establish next year in Austin with NamesCon Global, is the Domain Economic Forum. The idea behind this is to quantify our industry, to make it more transparent in a way. We heard now in the broker panel the pros and cons to basically release numbers or not. But what I really liked is, I think it was last week, where you basically published some statistics on Uniregistry Marketplace.
Yeah, we have a lot more to come. We want to share that data. Historically, we've shared that data through different outlets, different bloggers, and different domain news outlets. But we would only share a list of names and more limited data. We're trying to be more evocative and more open for several reasons. We're doing a lot of different types of work, and we've got a new project that will try to bring different types of liquidity to domain names. Commercial liquidity, like if you think about how would you structure a financial instrument that pays an annuity over a long period of time, to an investor, a traditional investor, like a pension fund or something like that. And you think about Bowie bonds, David Bowie's song catalog that was securitized, and we're exploring how we might do something like that with names and naming. We have a bundle of domain names that's delivered a very consistent return over a long time. What does that look like to a financial investor? How long would they invest? How long a multiple could you get on something like that, or could you sell? And so we're experimenting with some things, and so we're going to start to release more information in tandem with that.
But this is great for the overall industry,
yeah.
I think, and helpful for everyone. And I was really surprised about the number of work like your brokers put in order to sell a domain. It was, I think, it averaged something like 2,000 or 3,000 emails per sold domain or something like that.
I really struggle with that, and I'll explain why. Because you listen to a lot of the deals, these top deals, a million or more, 500,000, 20 to 30 million. And oh my God, and these deals do go down. I think as one of the other panelists previously said, sometimes they don't get reported, or often they don't get reported, as we all know. But still, so I struggle with, here we are pushing, the difficulty is selling on your timeline. It's very difficult to take an inward lead stream, an organization that's focused on selling on an inward lead stream, and then getting your number, and the big number, because the sales cycle is very long. Sometimes you have to, tell these people no, so that they go to sleep and they ruminate on it. It's the one that got away, and they think about, what would my business be like if only I had paid the extra for that name, and then they have to come back at your number. But not when you're trying to sell at velocity, when you're trying to deliver a consistent number all the time, and do it on a timetable so that every month you're going to make, $1.7 million. Then there's an urgency in the calendar month or whatever to bring back old deals, or through confluence of new deals to get them closed. And in doing so, you're cannibalizing those $1 million opportunities, because it's less likely you're going to be able to hold out, and get that big dollar.
Right. what I understand is you have these two new products which you're experimenting with. Like one is this liquidity program.
Yeah, that is truly experimental. We're just trying to see where that goes and
what are first results? Are you ready to talk a little bit about it?
No, maybe not yet. We've seen transactions happen.
Okay.
So I'm telling you, there are people who will stand forth and say they've sold. But I watched the lists coming in personally, and I was personally struck by how the caliber of a lot of the names is quite low. There are a lot of people that are looking for liquidity. They're probably looking for liquidity because they don't have a very good portfolio of names, and they're frustrated that they're not getting the offers that they wish they got. So they're turning to how do I liquidate? And they're truly just not good names. But in the mix, you do have sellers who are like if you think about a pawn shop type situation where you have real gold and you want to liquidate it, and it is real, and you're willing to take the sort of the meltdown value of the gold, as it were, as opposed to the ornate value of the gold, the jewelry factor. And we're doing those deals. We're seeing them go down, and people are shouting about it going, I just sold because think about it. You just sold your relatively decent names at wholesale prices to get liquidity. You're not going to be broadcasting how great you feel about it. You've done a pawn shop like trade, I guess, is a better way to characterize it. But we're watching that go down just to see what the market looks like, and it is experimental at this point. And then what the other product?
I forgot the name of it, like this second chance.
Misconnections.
Misconnections.
So again,
what is that?
So what it's the idea that misconnections is historically when you bump into somebody and you think there's a connection, romantically or other, and it's the moment is lost, and you take an ad in the newspaper to try to find that person on the off chance that they too might be looking. So very romantic, very whimsical. Similarly, maybe not quite as romantic. When you negotiate for a sale, the sale doesn't go down. Now, the opportunity for another party to jump in and try to, make a connection on that name because somebody else was interested. So it's it's just something we've tried to empower. We have a good sized team at Uni, and we're trying to empower people who aren't domainers, who haven't had the benefit of having a portfolio of domains, but who work in the domain business, to get creative and see what they can do to try to understand naming and create and design for new products. So that's what's sort of afoot there, and that's all happening in tandem with an actual program where we have a project where we're rebuilding a lot of the utility and infrastructure in terms of selling it, on the unit market. Our project Dynamo, which is something we're releasing. It was originally slated for around my birthday, which is beginning of August. Now it's looking more like late August, early September. But it's pretty far-reaching changes in the way that you sell, the way that you list, making it easier, to use the platform. We've been watching how our sellers interact. We know how the buyers interact. We like to think we have a pretty decent buyer experience, but on the seller side, it can be frustrating if you're not a professional or you haven't grown the platform. And we're trying to make that a lot easier to use for newcomers, new sellers, and I couldn't live without my domain app, like the Registry app. It's really useful when you're a power seller, but making that useful to a novice with a smaller portfolio, we're improving. I joke that we're taking the clogs out of the jet engine. Right now we have a great jet engine, but it's got like a plug in it. It's not running. It's not giving us enough oomph to get up into the air, and we're kind of taking the plug out.
Yeah. I mean, it's part of my work to learn about all these different marketplaces. So I'm joining the domain industry since 3 years only. So but I have to say from what I saw now, listing some domains here, listing some domains there, that is by far the nicest interface. Like your team really took care of the UI, and you don't get a headache like looking at the listing page. Yeah.
We're trying. I'm not proud. I'm proud of the collective effort. I'm not proud of the finished product at this point. I want more for it because I know how useful it is to me. I want to make it that useful to a novice. And to do that, it needs some work, and we know what the work is, and we're doing the work. So, it's hard building a domain sales platform that's viable for the entire spectrum of name sellers, because as we just spoke about, there are many different types of sellers. Sellers who sell in volume, they're boutique sellers, they're guys who reach for the stars, and only go for the really big deals. It's a real, everybody at the end of the day is selling domain names, but everybody's doing it differently, everybody has a different type of business,
Different approach.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay, we talked a little bit about the status quo. Let's learn a little bit more about your journey into becoming the domain investing titan. Titan, I think it's called.
Yeah.
So,
one of them. There are other guys like me out there. They're just, I'm visible. I've been at it a long time, and I run a public-facing business, and
the Pirate of the Caribbean.
Yes, I live in the Cayman Islands. I'm Caymanian now.
What was your aha moment after registering accommodation.com in '99? What was the aha moment where you recognized, hey, there's a business behind it?
So I'd love to say it was all me, but really I read an article in a small town newspaper, and there was a story about a guy who had, one of those syndicated stories that comes through AP back in the day, where you'd have a regional newspaper, but it had inside stories from other newspapers aggregated. And there was a story about a guy who had sold 7 domain names in Texas for like $100,000. And I thought, because this was early .com mania, and one of those stories had made it out. So there was a domainer there well ahead of me, and I was astonished that those types of deals were going down. And yet I knew that domain names traded for money because I'd worked for an ISP in the mid-90s that had bought a domain name. And it was the topic of the day at the office, where they were buying this domain name for real money. And 20 people gathered around as the transfer process was happening, and it was like a very important milestone that we were getting. And actually, so this is also a funny coincidence. The name was joystick.com because they were a video game accessory manufacturer as well. And they wanted joystick.com, and I own that name today. I got that at auction years ago. So, you had 20 people in the mid-90s at a company, gathering around to transfer this very important domain name using email and nick handles and all this, back before proper registrars. I mean, mid-90s, and you transferred using network solutions and the email business account system, and like using email templates back and forth. There was no web interface for taking a domain registration,
right.
And all that transfer going down to the money changing hands and trust and all that. Now years later, I have the name that I got at an auction. I mean, it's just crazy,
After that, you just started, when you read this article, you just started to hand register domains.
Yeah, so what I really did, what gave me a big leg up, was Snap Names came along, and I figured if I bought every snapback on every expiring name, that I would be able to harvest quite a few names. And I got tens of thousands of domain names that way, really good names. So if you were able to throw a net, and there was basically the ability to, over a 6-month period of expirations, take everything that dropped. And that gave me a leg up. But I think, the real key is, you stick with it. I mean, we still buy names today. Like today, I'm going to buy a name. I don't know what it is, but it'll be pretty good. And we'll pay, thousands of dollars for that name.
Audio.com is what you're going to buy.
These names come along, you buy them, and then they just go in the pile behind you. And if you do that every day, over 20 years, you're going to build an amazing portfolio. It's just the consistency. A lot of people come in and they'll buy, they'll load up 10,000 names in a year, and then they'll stop. Or they'll buy a lot of really good names one year, and then they'll give up. We've just never stopped. I have a small team now that helps me, and but the mantra is the same. We just every day we're out buying names. We buy at NameJet, we buy wholesale from people. We buy, just like you.
At the live auction today.
Yeah, maybe at the live auction today. Oh God, God help me. not this again.
More champagne.
Yeah. Frank, what was the hardest moment along the journey, along the last 20 years?
Boy, that's a really good question. It hasn't been that hard. I mean, on the domain side, it comes really natural to me buying and selling domain names. I really feel like it's something I can do for 15 minutes a day, every day, and not feel like work. So, when you think about that, it's a very natural thing. I think the hardest part is turning that into a real business. Like, there are a lot of infrastructure providers, registrars, registries. I have a lot of respect for them. all my colleagues in that space, because that's hard work. You know, you're building a business from nothing. Domaining is easy. You can do it at home. You can manage your overhead. You know, you can right-size the business very easily. It's a great cottage industry business, or it can be a great professional business. But running a big business where you pay well, I mean, we're paying 120 staff. You know, where you're paying them every month, and you have to worry about their livelihoods, managing multiple offices, regulations, taxation. You know, that's hard. You know, and so that's probably the hardest bit, is converting it into a real business.
Real business, yeah. And I mean, starting Uni Registry in 2011 was actually 12 years after you first registered your domain, your first domain.
So we saw the new TLD round coming. We thought, we've got a big portfolio of .com names, and we like naming, and there are all these, it's a really good hedge. Heads I win, tails I don't lose. If the new TLD thing takes over completely from .com, then I have a fallback against the loss of my .com portfolio. But I think as things turn out, it's a long journey. I think it'll probably be a 50-50 world. There'll still be obviously .com names in 20 years, and it'll be a vibrant part of the ecosystem. But I think new TLDs are becoming more viable, especially with young business people, kids. The kid who's building an app who's 18 who can't get the .com and is just fine with using the .app or the something else. So
yeah. Okay, so what surprised you most about the success along the way? Like, what surprised you most becoming successful over the last 20 years?
I really haven't honestly changed that much. Somebody once told me as you become older, you don't really change. You just become more like yourself. And I'd say that's how it's been for me. I like to have nice things, and obviously enjoy the trappings of being financially successful. But by and large, I'm pretty much the same guy. I used to tell the story that I was working at my computer, and I started to try to buy domain names, and then I suddenly had to get up to go pee. So I got up to go to the bathroom, and I looked at the calendar, and it was like 10 years later. It was like, oh my God, what just happened? You're exactly the same guy, because you're just doing this routine of buying names every day. So you don't really have time to get uppity about how rich you are or how much money you've made. It just kind of happens, and But that said, I remember what it's like to, shop at like the equivalent of Walmart for clothing, and now I don't do that anymore. So now I'm boutique shopping, and so and when every now and then you'll add up what you spend on shopping, and you're like, oh my God, that's more than I made in 3 years. You don't really, it doesn't really change you. I don't know if I'm explaining it right, but it doesn't really. I don't really feel like it's changed me as a person.
Oh, I like to meet you all the time, and it's a lot of fun always. Let's talk about something personal. Maybe a lot of people don't know that here. You basically studied in Vancouver at Vancouver Film School.
Yeah, I went to VFS, which is like a 16mm filmmaking class. I went with Kevin Smith, the guy who directed Clerks, Ben Affleck's friend.
It's a good movie.
Yeah.
You studied also screenwriting at UCLA.
Yeah.
And at the American Film Institute.
That's right.
After that,
Yeah.
So you have a passion for.
Yeah, I like film. I saw a lot of. I was young, in my early 20s. And I saw a lot of guys who were like what I thought were 29, almost 30 years old. To me that was like really old. When you're 21, 22, 30 is like, oh my God, that's so over the hill. So I was like, I didn't want to be that guy. And then I had a really good friend, Vern, who many of you met. He wound up working with me years later. He's now retired. So Vern doesn't need to answer to me anymore. He's completely made it. So he's on his own and doing his thing. And anyway, he said, come work with me in real estate. We'll do some stuff together. So I did. And because I thought, oh God, I don't want to be living in Hollywood just on the, it was pretty marginal. This was before the internet. And you were like, you lived and died by the deals you could get through your agent. And self-promotion was very difficult pre-internet, pre-social media. So, this is like pre-Google Maps. You go to a meeting with a Thomas guide and you're in that book in LA, crazy. So, but it's still an unrequited love affair. I love film and I love writing and I love, but so now, I'll tell you a funny thing in relation to the film. So at AFI, I would read screenplays all day long. You'd read the ones that got made and the ones that didn't get made. So you'd read movies like action movies that were really big, and you'd see how they changed. Like you could see how the writer had the scene with like helicopters and a yacht and all this stuff, and then in the actual movie, the scene was rewritten with a car chase. Because it's cheaper than helicopters and a yacht. Like a James Bond like moment, right? So a lot of that was cost cut out. And you learn how to tell the good ones from the bad ones. So a friend of mine sent me a screenplay, which is kind of like Girl Tarzan meets My Fair Lady. It's called Lady Wild. So I read it and I was like, this is fucking great. So I bought it, right? So I'm still doing stuff in film. I bought the rights to it because I thought, once you've read, forced to read hundreds and hundreds of them, you learn how to tell the good ones from the bad ones a little bit. You can see the ones that got made, and you can see why it's better than the one that didn't get made. So I bought this screenplay. I had it rewritten by another screenwriter right now, and we'll see if we get it made. But if it doesn't go anywhere, I have the luxury of not having to worry about it, right? But it is still something I like to do. I like arts and music. I own a small record label that I started as a charity. Now we have artists who are starting to come up and actually have real success. These kids, 18, 19-year-old hip hop artists who are actually.
I'm still trying to let you sign me to your label, but I'm too old, it seems.
You are not too old. I mean, you've got chops.